Hello, DreamWorks. I'm back in here with the AIM game, episode 5, I think. I'm just going to be going back over dual zone S curve, some of the other AIM settings. It's how I kind of pretty much started my whole Rivals content, talking about the AIM and stuff. As you can see, I have pretty crazy stick drift, real crazy. This isn't the controller I usually play with, though. And it's like, it just kind of messed up. My stick is really messed up. But that's okay, because I'm just going to be down showing y'all the differences between dual zone S curve and everything else. Not even showing you the differences, just really talking about dual zone S curve itself, really, and what the values mean and everything. Just like how I did my last video. That last video got like 3K, but that was like towards the beginning of Rivals. I figured that I would do it another one, and here it is. Damn, this shit is really messed up. Look, you see? Let me see if I can do it. Like, I'm not doing this right now. This is my stick doing that. Crazy. But let's get started. Alright, so press pause. Go into settings, go to controller, go to combat, and go to the hero that you want to do this for. And you go to the where is it? Oh yeah, advanced settings. These are my Spider-Man settings that I use right here. These are like the regular aim settings right here. Your minimum dead zone, maximum dead zone, your horizontal boost, vertical boost, latency, response. I'm gonna get into all this in a second. What I really wanted to do this for was dual zone S curve. You got classic, exponential, and linear. Don't ever use exponential. It's terrible. Classic and linear, that's more of preference, you know what I'm saying? That's for whatever you think. I really strongly recommend dual zone. If you want the best aim you could possibly have, I recommend dual zone, and that's because it's the most customizable option out of all four. I'm about to explain what this stuff means right now. So, custom minimum range. This is the first part of your dual stick, which it's two parts of your dual stick. It's the minimum and the maximum. Minimum is what controls your fine movements, like when you're barely moving your stick and you're moving it like really slow. This is when this is at what point you start to actually move your stick, in that slow, fine fashion. Like what percent of your stick that you're pushing. In my last video I said think about these two as the percent of your stick. So I got mine on 4, which means at 4% of my stick I will start moving like this, very slowly. This is my custom minimum range right here. This is what your minimum range is. You raise this if you want to be able to push more of your stick but still be able to move this slow, and you lower this if you want to be able to start moving your stick really slow, but without having to push your stick so hard to do it. Okay, I opt to use mine at 4 because that feels natural to me, like pushing my stick like barely and getting my cursor to move barely. Like that just translates well to me. So let's move on to maximum range. Maximum range is when you start to get into the higher end of your sensitivity. You see, my sensitivity is 300. That's for Spider-Man. So my maximum range is when I start to get to this 300 cap. And basically what that means is, you see how I'm moving my stick slowly? This is my max range. Right there. This is max range. See how I'm pushing it and it's moving fast? This is 300. And this is what your max range is. At what percent of your stick will you start to hit the higher end of your sensitivity? So minimum range is what percent you are pushing your stick to move it slowly to make them fine adjustments. Max would be the exact opposite of that. At what percent would you be moving your stick until you hit the higher end of your sensitivity? That's when you start to flick. That's when you start to move your cursor fast to track faster targets. I opted to put mine at 85 because I got heavy hands. So if I were to put this lower, my stick would move faster, like if I pushed it hard. But I wanted to move fast when I push it hard, but 85 is where I find it to be the most comfortable for me. That's 85% of my stick. So I gotta push my stick 85% to get it to start moving really fast. For me, that feels comfortable. And that's what dual zone S curve is about. It's about doing what feels comfortable for you. Okay, so minimum curve statics. This is for the speed of your minimum range. I turned mine up to 40 to show y'all. This is what 40 would look at my minimum range. See? You see how fast it's moving? I'm only tilting my stick at 4%, but it's moving like this right here. This is your curve statics, how fast your minimum range is going to be. I usually play with mine on 20. Because I have my minimum range so low, I want this to be low too. And you see how much more fine, how slower it's moving. This is at 20 power right here. Curve statics is how fast your minimum range is. Minimum range is at what percent do you start your curve statics. So how hard are you pushing your stick to make it move this fast right here? And that's what curve statics is. I'll say it again. Curve statics is the speed of your minimum range. You up this to make your minimum range move faster. You lower this for a more granular, more fine control over it. And you can also think about this as the percent of your actual sensitivity. Your minimum curve statics is the percent, of your horizontal and vertical, if that would make it easier for you to understand as well. You can also think about this in percents. So my minimum curve statics is 20% of my overall sensitivity, which would be how fast my minimum range is moving once I push my stick 4%. This is 20% of 300% speed right here. Real easy stuff. Real easy stuff. For custom maximum dual zone curve, this is the speed of all of this. Like, this is like upping the speed on your minimum, upping the speed on your max, and your curve statics. Like, this controls the speed of everything. It's like a how volume has a up button and a down button. You up the volume and you down the volume, but then you have the max volume, like maximum surround sound type shit. That's kind of what dual zone is. It's like the master volume. This is the master speed of everything. Like, you can customize all this, and then you can like choose your maximum speed. Not maximum, but your master speed. Yeah, that's my best way I can describe it right there. It's like the master volume key. Like, you see how it says master volume right here, but you got all of this stuff where you can control how it sounds. That's what maximum dual zone is. It's just like your master volume. Like, once you finish customizing all this, then you can go to this one and put it to where you want it to be at. And that's basically it. The rest of this stuff is pretty general. Your dead zones, this is for your stick drift. With your minimum dead zone, that's if you have stick drift. If you got a lot of stick drift, you gotta up this until it stops. If you don't have any, the closer to 1 or 0 is the best, depending on how like how comfortable everything else feels to you. But closer, generally speaking, closer to 1 or 0 is the best. I gotta put mine up a little higher for my hit scan and precision shooters, because I got stick drift. And this is just my Spider-Man settings right here. Like, I got different settings for my hit scan and projectiles. It's way lower. All my horizontal and vertical is way lower for them, because I like be precise when I'm shooting with people when their whole game plan is shooting. See, if Spider-Man is melee, like Magic, Iron Fist, Hulk, I got all of them a lot higher, and sensitivity because they're melee and they do most of their damage up on somebody. You're not really aiming a lot with them. With Spider-Man, you are aiming a lot, but it's really just to hit one powerful shot. And what that means is you're just trying to tag somebody with a cluster or pull somebody off the map. I'm not trying to shoot at people the whole time. I'm trying to get all up on them. So I tend to put my sensitivity higher for, you know, melee duelists like that, because it's easier to spin your camera on somebody when they're right in front of you and stuff like that. And yeah, horizontal boost, that's just boosting your sensitivity even faster. Like give you an extra boost when you hit your max. Same thing for vertical, except it's just for up and down. Latency response time. This is like this is before your acceleration activates when you reach your maximum. So that, like your boosts, this is like for when that actually activates. And for your max dead zone response time, this is for like for that peak extra sensitivity when you reach your maximum dead zone. And that's basically it, man. This is my updated version for the last one I made regarding dual zone S curve. This is the best aim setting in my opinion. I think if you're playing on a controller, I think you should be playing on this, but at the end of the day, it's all personal preference. I just strongly recommend this one because it is the most customizable, and once you actually understand what this stuff does, it can definitely take your game to the next level. And you start hitting way more shots, getting more KOs, you know, just being an all-around better teammate. And yeah, man, if I helped you out, just let me know. All right, I'm out.